In this video, we will show how to use frames in Tecplot for Barracuda. Frames are a convenient way to manipulate and display multiple views of one or more simulations on one Tecplot page. If you click near the edge of a frame, 9 black squares will indicate the active frame, which can be helpful when there are multiple frames on the same page. One of the ways to create a new frame is by navigating to the Frame menu and clicking on Create New Frame. You can use this cross cursor to draw a box. This box corresponds to a new frame. To load data into this new frame, use the Barracuda loader. To learn more about loading Barracuda data, see our Loading Data video. For this example, I will use history.log to create a 2D plot in the frame. 3D data can also be loaded into a frame. I'll create one more frame and then load any one of the PLT files. And you can use this button here to create a new frame. All three of these frames, the background, the 2D, and the 3D, are completely independent from each other. We can go to the quick macro panel and show a different view in this 3D frame. If we want to show 2D alongside 3D data or multiple simulations simultaneously, this is the only way to do this. However, if we wish to show all 3D data from the same simulation, this is not the most efficient way to do that. Tecplot loads all data being presented into active memory. So with the two 3D sets being shown here, we are doubling the memory load of Tecplot. There's a simpler and easier way of doing this that is also less of a memory constraint, and I'll show you how to do that now. First, we'll delete these two frames. I'm just going to click until it's selected and then hit the delete key on my keyboard. Or I can select the frame and go over to Frame, delete active frame. It'll also delete that. So our simple way of doing this without doubling the memory or increasing the memory load in Tecplot is to select the frame and then do Control-C. So we're just effectively copying our frame. And then we'll do Control-V to paste our frame. And I'm going to do that twice. 1, 2. So now there are 3 frames here in this Tecplot window. We can only see one because they are stacked on top of each other. So we will need to tile the frames in order to see all 3 of them. And you can do this by going to the Frame menu and clicking on Tile Frames. And this gives you multiple options here, a grid, horizontally, vertically. You can do that to tile your frames. Or you can come over here to the quick macro panel and double click on Tile Frames. And then it'll ask you how many frames would you like? And we want 3. And this option only tiles the frames horizontally. So if that works for you, you can use the quick macro panel. But if you need a grid or you need them vertically, you'll need to go through the Frame menu. All 3 frames are now shown and they are independent of each other. Any changes made to one frame in position or view type will not be carried through to the other 2 frames. If we want to link the frames together to keep the solution time or the 3D plot view the same in each frame, we will need to link the frames. Go to the Frame menu, Frame Linking. Once here, you can select any number of options to link the frames together. In this example, I will link them by 3D plot view and solution time. Remember to apply settings when you link your active frames, and then you can click Close. So now you can see as I rotate and zoom in and out on this one frame, it will correspond to all of the frames. I can still change the views, and that will not carry through, and I can change the contour levels as well, but they will be linked through position and also through solution time. So I'll load all the time, and then we can play that, and it will keep them in sync for time. So this is important if you are creating an animation. And that concludes this video on frames in Tecplot for Barracuda.